The Greater Will is a distant, invisible force that never fully enters the lands between, yet its presence shapes everything from the Golden Order to the fate of entire dynasties. It doesn't rule by marching armies or speaking commandments. It rules through guidance, influence, and the quiet pressure of cosmic intention. It arrived long before the Erdtree ever rose, sending its first envoy, the Two Fingers, to act as interpreters. Not leaders, not gods, just conduits that translate its will into blessings, laws, and destinies people were expected to accept without question. Through Marika, it found its perfect vessel, a being capable of reshaping the world, rewriting death, and building an entire order around the idea that grace comes from above. The Golden Order wasn't her creation alone. It was a collaboration between a god and a force that demanded harmony and obedience in exchange for power. But the Greater Will is not compassionate. When the Rune of Death was stolen, when the Elden Ring was shattered, when the world fell into ruin, it didn't intervene. It simply turned its favor elsewhere, waiting for someone strong enough to repair what was broken in its name. To the tarnished, its guidance is subtle. A spark of grace, a path illuminated, a whisper through the Two Fingers trying to lead them toward becoming Elden Lord. Not for glory, but to mend the order according to its design. And yet, the Greater Will never shows itself, never speaks directly, never explains. It is a distant cosmic mind, one that treats gods as tools and civilizations as pieces on a board. Whether its vision is salvation or control remains a question only the player can answer, by choosing to follow its plan or to defy it completely. The Frenzied Flame is not a god of order or purpose. It's a wound in reality, a force of pure chaos that wants only one thing: to melt everything living, thinking, and separate into a single, suffering unity. Its touch spreads madness, tearing sanity apart through pain, fire, and whispers that burrow directly into the mind. Its earliest known vessel was Shabriri, the most reviled man in history, who had his eyes gouged out for slander, yet kept smiling as the frenzied flame settled into the empty sockets. And through him, the flame spread, corrupting the nomadic merchants, driving Vike to madness, twisting Hyetta into a prophet, and waiting deep beneath Leyndell for any tarnished willing to embrace it. Those who follow the frenzied flame pluck out their eyes as offerings, calling them grapes. They see the yellow light as truth, the idea that the world, broken by divisions and suffering, can only be corrected by burning it all away. No more identity, no more struggle, no more birth. Just one fused existence, drowning in chaos. At the heart of it lies the Three Fingers, waiting in a forgotten tomb, a place where an ancient god was buried and sealed. Their embrace brands the flesh permanently, marking the chosen vessel as the future Lord of Frenzied Flame. A title not of power, but of annihilation. Even great spirits fear it. Even time recoils from it. And only Miquella's needle, used in a place beyond the reach of fate, can peel the chaos away once it's taken root. In the end, the Frenzied Flame is not evil because it hates. It's evil because it doesn't understand anything except suffering, and believes the world can only be healed by consuming it whole. The Formless Mother is found not in a single place, but everywhere blood is spilled. An outer god with no shape, no voice, and no face, only a hunger. She's called the Formless Mother, the Mother of Truth, a presence that answers only to wounds. Mohg discovered her deep below the lands between, drawn in by whispers of blood and rebirth. Through her, he found a source of power that thrives on suffering. A god who blesses only those willing to cut themselves open in devotion. Her communion requires pain, a spear driven into her unseen flesh, a limb plunged into her blood, a sacrifice of one's own body to earn her favor. Mohg became her chosen apostle, shaping his entire dynasty around her gifts. A blood flame, the burning crimson that coats his spear, comes directly from her. And with that power, he branded his followers. The Bloody Fingers, the Blood Fiends, even the cursed residents of Prospect Town, all reshaped into creatures she could call her own. Her influence spreads far beyond Mohg. The warriors of the Land of Reeds, obsessed with bloodletting and ritual wounds, seem touched by her hand. Techniques like seppuku echo her creed perfectly. Pain as offering, blood as prayer. Even the Briar sorceries, obsessed with punishment and laceration, might be branches of the same origin. She's formless, but not absent. Her body can be pierced from anywhere, through Mogwin's sacred spear, through incantations that summon her blood, through wounds willingly inflicted by her faithful. A god everywhere and nowhere, drawn to agony like gravity. And unlike the Frenzied Flame or the Greater Will, she never speaks of destiny or order. She wants only one thing, a wound deep enough to let her in. The outer god of Rot is a presence older than the lands between themselves. It is a force of decay and renewal, shaping life through death. Its influence manifests as Scarlet Rot, a corruption that eats at flesh yet seeds new growth, binding all in the cycle of life and decay. Though its power is unseen, it moves through the world, leaving traces in the soil, the waters, and in those who worship it. Long ago, it appeared as a great scorpion, a living deity whose stinger spread both terror and transformation. Those who followed willingly offered themselves to its infection, allowing fungi to sprout from their bodies, embracing both destruction and the strange beauty of rebirth. Its essence later found a host in Malenia, who struggled to contain its power while becoming a vessel for its divine will, a constant battle between control and surrender. Even now, the outer god of Rot whispers through its disciples, the scarlet butterflies, spider scorpions, and the kindred of Rot. They spread its touch across the rotted woods, carrying its strange doctrine of death that gives life. Rituals, relics, and sacred ashes all bear its mark, each crimson stain a fragment of its unseen presence, and though hidden from view, its influence persists, eternal and patient. Life decays, rot spreads, and yet from that same decay, new power emerges. The outer god of Rot reminds the lands between that endings are never final, and in the heart of corruption, life and godhood intertwine. The dark moon is cold, distant, and veiled in mystery. It hangs above the lands between, a silent witness to the flow of time and the machinations of gods. First glimpsed by Ranni in her youth under the guidance of her mother, Ranni, it became a symbol of hidden knowledge, occult power, and quiet authority. Its presence is ethereal, almost sentient, influencing the tides of fate and the destinies of those who dwell beneath its pale glow. The moon is more than a celestial body. It is a guide and a guardian, entwined with Ranni's own ascent. Those who serve her, from Blade, the half-wolf, to the glintstone dragon Adula, acknowledge its cold light, swearing fealty to its silent, watchful gaze. It embodies the wisdom of the stars, a calm but inexorable force that shapes the age Ranni will bring forth, should she inherit the Elden Ring. Legends hint at its deeper nature. Some whisper that the dark moon is itself a living entity, a fragment of outer godhood watching over the world. Others see it as tied to the black moon of Nokstella, or perhaps even the polar star, a marker of hidden paths and cosmic truth. Its lunar phase is ever a new moon, a quiet darkness from which light may one day rise, and under its gaze the fate of gods and mortals alike is measured in silence. The dark moon remains distant yet present, a celestial witness to the ambitions of Empyreans, and a quiet force guiding the lands between toward the age of the stars. The Twinbird is a creature of contrast and enigma. The Twinbird soars across the history of the lands between as an envoy of an outer god of death. Its two heads embody duality, one bright red and blazing, the other deep blue and shadowed, mirroring the cycle of life and death it oversees. It is the mother of the Deathbirds, guiding their ghost flame rites and shaping the end of mortal lives with ritual precision. Long before the Erdtree grew, the Twinbird nested in the lands between, teaching its offspring the solemn art of meaningful death. The Deathbirds would burn the dead in ghost flame kilns, honoring the fallen and releasing vengeful spirits to the world. Those who faced death with valor earned a glorious end, while worshippers preserved their lives for a future sacrifice, all under the silent watch of their mother. Over time, the Twinbird's influence waned, yet it never vanished entirely. Its legacy lives on in the gravebird golems, in forgotten rites, and in legends of those who live in death, who descend from above under the cover of night. Even now, traces of the Twinbird's presence linger, a reminder of the delicate balance between life, death, and resurrection. The Twinbird embodies duality, fire, and rebirth, or a phoenix of the outer gods. Its image in shields, reliefs, and ritual lore speaks to the eternal cycle it commands, a quiet, vigilant mother, whose influence echoes in the shadows of the lands between. The Gloam-Eyed Queen is a figure of shadow and divine purpose. It was an Empyrean chosen by the Two Fingers to wield the rune of death. Through her hand and greatsword, she channeled black flame capable of slaying gods themselves. In her care, newborn godskin apostles were swaddled in supple cloth, destined to grow into the instruments of divine judgment. Under her guidance, these serpentine disciples learned to bring death to the deities who had ruled over the lands between. The queen commanded the godskin apostles with unwavering authority, her power manifesting in black flames that swept across battlefields in devastating precision. Yet even her might was not eternal. Malekith, the shadow-bound beast of Queen Marika, defeated her, and the rune of death was removed from the Elden Ring, its power sealed within the black blade. Her sword lies hidden at the bottom of the divine tower of Caelid, and the queen herself vanished into legend, her fate unknown, Still, her influence endures. The Godslayer incantations, the black flames of destruction, and the Godskin apostles who once followed her all bear witness to her legacy. She is a quiet reminder that even the gods can fall, and that death, guided by a masterful hand, can be the shaping force of destiny itself.